Indie Pod presents Dawg House.
Sometimes you just gotta let it go. Sometimes you just gotta let it go. Yeah, let it go. Time was always there, didn't have a care, no. Now that it's gone, you hope to get along, yeah. Sometimes you just gotta let it go. Sometimes you just gotta let it go. Yeah, let it go. Did you always try? Did you always fail? Yeah. And in your hands, did you feel the nails? Did you look around like what you found? If you had the time, did you make it right? Sometimes you just gotta let it go. Sometimes you just gotta let it go. Yeah, let it go. You can start again till you reach the end, yeah. But if you want a friend, gotta learn to bend. Sometimes you just gotta let it go. Sometimes you just gotta let it go. Yeah, let it go.
You're in the Dawg House.
The song that just ripped through your head was Let It Go by the Fource. Joining the Doc in the Dawg House tonight is the legendary band, the Fource. So guys, thank you for joining the Doc tonight. And how the hell are you guys?
Doing good.
Good.
Great. That's good. Glad. It's my honor to have you guys on, guys. So I want to ask you, your music is often described as a blend of classic American and modern rock. Did growing up on the streets of the Chicago West Side have an influence on your sound and the lyrics of your songs?
We all came out after seeing. I think we'll all agree to this that we saw the Beatles and Ed Sullivan and saw the girls screaming and all said we got to do this. This is something that we need to do. We were all Joe and Larry and I were, we were all together then as kids. We were like 15, 16 years old at the time. And we started going to a friend of ours' house and started playing every day. And we were called the Rough Riders. And we recorded an album at my uncle's house that had a recording studio in Skokie where you could actually cut a vinyl record.
Well, my personal influence was the movie Bye Bye Birdie. I saw that I was 15 years old, instantly fell in love with Anne Margaret.
Yeah.
And I said, you got to get a guitar. So that's when I started, the whole process of, bugging my parents until I got a guitar. And but see, I don't sing. And my influence at that time was basically like the ventures, stuff like that, stuff I could just play on the guitar. And of course, Jerry, again, known him all my life, he could sing, and very well. So it just kind of fell into it. And of course, Larry plays so many instruments, and we just got together.
We have a beautiful little girl who we named after my mom. In fact, Passive Aggressive Psycho turns 5 tomorrow.
Let's give the listeners a rundown of the members of the Fource and kind of how long you guys have been together.
Wow. Okay, I'm
Let Jerry start.
lead singer, and I play 12-string guitar, and I'm learning keyboards and 12 and 6-string guitar, and sing lead and harmonies.
Well, I'm Joe Petty. As I said, play the guitar. I don't sing, so nobody wants to hear that. So I just get by what I can with the guitar, and I'm happy with that.
I had lived a couple doors down from Larry. I've known Larry since I've been like 4 years old, but like many of the rest of the band, I saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. I said, "This is what I want to do." My folks bought me an inexpensive acoustic guitar. I started studying guitar at a local school for a few years. But when I got my electric guitar, Larry called me up and says, "Hey, we're in this band, the Rough Riders. Do you want to come and play?" And I did. That was my, I was like in 8th grade or something like that. That was my introduction to, performing live in a band. But, on and off, I played with Larry here or there. And then just a few years ago, they asked me to come and, work out with them at Jerry's place. And it worked out pretty well. And I, like to think that I, blended well with what they had been doing for years. But so it's been a few years now that, the pandemic sort of, put a crimp on things. But, here we are still, and we're still writing and still recording. And like I said, I'd like to think that I, helped put another piece in the Fource puzzle.
Larry, you didn't speak?
Yeah,
Larry.
I'm Larry Donachie. I play bass with the Fource. And as far as my influences, I came from a musical family. My mother played piano. She showed me how to play piano. I had an uncle that could play any instrument. He would just pick up an instrument and just start to play it. So I grew up in a music family.
Yeah, well, and I met Bob through a client, through an employee of mine that he had worked with as an attorney, and she told him, "Hey, my boss plays music. Why don't you go over and see us?" And Bob used to come and play with us, and then go tell his father, "Hey, I got to go play with the old men." So but he's been with us since 2000 now. So he's just playing with old men. And Carlos, I met through a client as well, which he can tell that story. But I just wanted to show you this. This was our first record that it's on vinyl, and it was called it was our second record, actually, Do You Feel Like Shaking? It was recorded in Skokie. My uncle could actually cut a vinyl record. He had the equipment in his house.
That's awesome.
So we went there, and it was 1966 when this was recorded.
Hey, dude, I don't play anything but vinyl. So that's the way it is with me, dude. Not this streaming shit. I mean, I put it on my playlist, but I listen to 99.9% vinyl. So I love seeing that. You held it up earlier. So thanks, Jerry, for doing that. So Bob and Carlos, you guys are next.
Sure. I guess I was the other person who went and dropped by Jerry when Jerry, Joe, and Larry were practicing once a week. And I showed up one evening, and I think everybody thought I was going to be there once or twice, and I just kept on coming back every week. And after a while, they noticed, that I was there, so I stayed. And I play guitar, mandolin, harmonica, try to fill in any instruments that are needed,
and creates all the harmonies too. Let's be
right. And they do a lot of the singing and harmonies on that. And I think what keeps me always coming back, in addition to the friendship and liking everybody in the band, but is the fact that we have all good songwriters. And so when we get together and bounce ideas off of each other, we're getting feedback that we don't always like, but nevertheless, that is always constructive and is always helpful. And I think, as a result, when we get together, the songs that we wind up writing, wind up being better, for having shared and having gotten everybody's input from the band. And as a result, we've put out a lot of original music and even original Christmas songs. And I think there are a lot of things we probably wouldn't have done, if we weren't all lucky enough to be able to be in a band together.
Unreal. That's great. Carlos.
So I was the last one to join the Fource, and it was I was introduced to Jerry through a client of his, and so he had become my accountant. And at the time, I was in Chicago. Well, my career started in the early '90s, so I wound up leaving Chicago. I was from here. I left Chicago and moved to Hawaii, where I was an intern recording engineer. And while I was out there, I was producing a bunch of acts, Big Fish, Small Pond, kind of a thing. Everything there went to radio, everything went to radio over there. So after I was there for a few years, I did pretty good. And then I went to LA. I moved to LA. While I was in LA, I had a record deal already. I was signed with another project called La Esperanza. It was like a flamenco project. And I had another separate rock project that was not named at the time. Later it would become Angry Chihuahua, but it wasn't even like in the works of getting signed at that time. But I wound up getting a call to move back to Hawaii to do music for a TV show called Baywatch Hawaii. And that was when my career, I think, really started to take off, because I got into the film and TV licensing stuff, and I did the theme song for the show. Anyway, long story short, moved to LA, stayed in LA after the show, did a lot of stuff there, moved back to Chicago, met Jerry. I was doing the show Empire here, music producer on the show and a songwriter as well. So that kept me in Chicago. And while I was here, Jerry had asked me to work with them on a song. So we did a song that I produced, mixed, and played drums and some guitars and stuff on. And then we did another song. And then we did a third song. And then he said, hey, will you play live drums with us for some gigs? So I went and played some gigs with them live. And then a little bit of time passed. I wasn't there that much, but Jerry had called me just before the pandemic. Actually, it was a year before, where he said, hey, we want to record some new songs. Can you produce these new songs with us and stuff? And at that point, it was sort of like, okay, the drums went to the house. The drums stayed in the rehearsal space, started meeting every week, started playing all the time. And next thing you know, we just kept playing and writing. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been real creative with these guys.
Yeah, I'm down here, and this is you can see the rehearse. This is our rehearsal studio, where we're usually here on Tuesday nights rehearsing, but instead we're doing this interview tonight. But usually every Tuesday night, it's a soundproof room in my house. Carlos is in his studio. So,
well, I could tell that, it's a Doc's honor to have you guys. So I appreciate you giving up your practice night to be on my show. So thank you.
Every Christmas day, we always have pigs in blankets, or as you probably call it, relatives sleeping in the spare room.
Listening to you guys tell your stories and your backgrounds kind of leads me to a question I have in my mind is, when did the Fource actually become the Fource?
The Fource really came to be when Bob joined the band back in 2000.
It really warms my heart, because I know how long my band has been together, and to see you guys that have banded together, stuck together, put out some great music, and then finalized the members of the band and stayed together. That's something that doesn't happen all the time. At one point or another in other bands, that somebody leaves, somebody's replaced. And, it's not because they're not around anymore. It's just they're not going to be in the band anymore. So I really like seeing that and hearing that. So I got to give you guys thumbs up on that. So saying that, I'm going to spin another one for you guys. Here's Wonderful World.
Some people say these are desperate times, and maybe they're right. When science is replaced by misinformation, ignorance and lies, but this is our time, time and place. Right here, right now, here and now, we'll make it the best of times somehow. When I look in your eyes, I realize that you're seeing light.
Nice track. I like that, guys.
Now, I tell you, I'm all right now, but last week I was in rough shape, you know? Yeah, last week my wife signed me up for a bridge club. I jump off next Tuesday.
You are in the doghouse.
For our listeners and everyone else who are just discovering you guys, the Fource, what do you hope that they take away from your music and the lyrics?
I think in this day and age where so many people's attention span is so short, where they listen to about 40 seconds of a song and move on, I think the thing that I really hope with our music is that they listen to it and it's interesting enough for them to listen to the entire song. Because I feel like music is getting cut short these days, because good music, like good art, you have to appreciate it. You have to actually take it in. You can't just like walk past a painting and take a glance at it and not look at it. And it's the same with music. You can't just listen to the first 20, 30 seconds of a song and then go on to the hook of the next song you want to hear and keep on moving, forward from there. So I guess what I'm hoping is people listen to our music and give the songs a chance from beginning to end. And I think if they do that, that it's going to find some meaning for them and find some emotion, and in the end, songs are what the listener makes them and what the listener interprets them to be at whatever moment in their life. And again, if somebody goes ahead and gives our music a chance from beginning to end, I think we can play a role.
And I agree that the streaming platforms are filled with 75-80% shit, which shouldn't even be out there, number one. And number two, you guys get buried and people can't find you. How do you guys promote yourselves through the wild world of streaming platforms and the internet and all the other bullshit that goes along with it?
Well, we did on our last batch of singles, we did hire some promoters to get us on playlists. For playlists, there's a company called Bloom Creative out of Chicago. And it worked pretty well for most of the songs we got, and the Let It Go song got 139,000 streams so far, and it's still getting played, which is interesting to us. And, several of the other songs got 50 or 60,000 streams. So at least it was from a playlist perspective on Spotify. I don't know, you can't tell how you're doing on Apple, but on Spotify, we got some plays and we got some attention. And, it's interesting, at least Spotify tells you where they're listening, and it seems to be worldwide. It's interesting. We have, people listening all over the world. One of the songs, the Let It Go song, actually was recorded in 2000 by a blues artist out of Chicago called Sun Seals. He was also a client of mine. And he did it live in the Conan O'Brien show back in the year 2000. A band in Spain picked up the song and was playing it out live. I don't know if they ever recorded. I could never track it, but it was just kind of heartwarming to see somebody else like the song enough to, post YouTube videos of them doing it. And they sang it in English, even though they were from Spain. So it tells us that we've gotten somewhere to somebody, move one mind at a time.
Right. But I kind of get just so far in the interview that it doesn't really matter. I think you guys are making music to make music. You know what I'm saying? And that's the coolest thing, is that you're not talking about, well, we are on 15,000 different streaming platforms and we're doing this and doing that. You guys are just cranking out the tunes, and it's just like you're happy as can be. So, that's the cool thing about it. And that's what I love about talking with you guys, is that you're really humble and you're just making music. You're writing and you're putting out music. And that's phenomenal, guys. I got to give you thumbs up on that too.
Well, you come to a realization somewhere. Like, I realize Anne Margaret's not knocking at my door. So I have to kind of push on, so.
But the point that you guys are pushing on, I mean, and I'm not a spring chicken, but I'm going to keep playing until I can't play any longer. And that's what I sense from you guys. It's just like, Anne Margaret may not be knocking on your door, dude, but you're still waiting and you're still putting it out there. And,
yeah.
and that's the thing. A lot of people would give up and just say, hey, I know and I'm going to say this because my band members don't give a shit about my show, but they just think sometimes they're just too old. And it's like, man, you're not too old. You just think you're too old. And you guys are, again, proven fact of what I say is that you just keep pushing because of the love of music. And I got to give you credit again for that, guys, because I don't hear that a lot and I don't see it. So kudos on that, guys.
If we close our eyes, we're still 25.
I say the same thing, guy. I really do. I stay away from mirrors. I just keep thinking to myself.
And also on promotion, my son Jim, who loves all kinds of music, set this up, and he's out promoting us on internet radio all over the place and getting us played. There was a radio station in the UK that actually the show gets picked up by terrestrial radio that played us and had some very good comments on our tunes. So it's good to hear that we're writing good stuff that maybe the general masses are never going to hear it, but there are people that are going to hear it, and you never know who might hear it someday.
Well, I'm glad I heard it, to be honest with you. And Jim is a friend of the Docs, and he's a great guy. But you know what? That's what kind of frustrates me. More of the masses can't hear it like it should be heard.
You haven't stopped talking since I came here? You must have been vaccinated with a phonograph needle.
I'm going to throw another one out, which is called Pack Alive by the Fource.
Everyone's heard your story, told so many ways, so many different endings, so many different ways. But frankly speaking, no one's believing you, no one's really listening, no one's trusting you, and you'll pack a lies. Pack of lies. Pack of lies. Pack of lies. No one's really listening to your pack of lies. 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 No one's really listening to your pack of lies. Get your story straight now. When they talk to you, try to remember what you say is true. Frankly speaking, no one's believing you, no one's really listening, no one's trusting you, and you'll pack a lies. Pack of lies. Pack of lies. Pack of lies. No one's really listening to your pack of lies. 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 No one's really listening to your pack of lies. Take a strong position. Take a strong stand. Think of what you're saying. Make believe it's true. Frankly speaking, no one's believing you. No one's really listening. No one's trusting you, and you'll pack a lie.
I like that one. I do.
Recently, my Uber driver was from Egypt, and when I got into his car, he was talking over a phone in Arabic, only I didn't see any device, so I thought he was talking to me, using syllables I didn't recognize. And I thought, so, this is what a stroke is like.
Hey, you're in the Dawg House.
So, looking ahead, where do you see the Fource headed in terms of musical evolution and future projects?
Well, I don't know. Some of the stuff is getting a little edgier, which is kind of nice. But they also have a lot of ballads they've written. They have a lot of stuff that they've sort of accumulated over time that we've sort of been going over and looking to just release as singles, possibly an EP or an album. But there's a lot of material to go through, and I think the sound is going to be kind of like what you're hearing right now. It's a little edgier. It's still got an Americana feel to it, so it's not too heavy. But who knows? We may do a heavy track. We'll see how it goes. But there's a lot of different styles too. That they've been writing. So there's some really cool stuff that we're going to be working on. It's just a matter of over time, how is it going to turn out? But I think it's going to have a lot more of that feel, a little bit more, not overly produced, a little bit less produced than it has been. But it's still going to have, all their stuff has really good melodies and hooks. And that's kind of what, we've been focusing on, is making sure stuff has a good arrangement, good melody, and a good hook. So, I mean, there's a lot of bands now that are older that are doing great. And it's like no reason to stop recording. Like you were saying earlier, it's just being creative and continuously doing it. Like, have you heard of Pete and Bass from UK?
No, I haven't. No.
These are rappers that are huge now, and they're in their 70s, and they become absolutely huge. They're amazing. Like, nobody can tell that it's two old white guys, and they're phenomenal. And there are other bands like that now that are guys in their 70s who are actually
yes,
really, really good,
Yes.
I went to the doctor because I thought I had arthritis. I don't. I have early onset rigor mortis.
So there's like no reason to stop doing anything. And I kind of like the way they're doing it. It's sort of like, they get inspired. They have an idea. We all get together. We flush out the idea. And a lot of times we do multiple versions of the idea, especially at rehearsal. We change it up a lot in rehearsal until we even start recording it. So there's always these cool little, nuggets that come out of the rehearsals and everything. So
yeah, but see, you're taking that song and everybody's putting their own individuality into it and making it that song. You didn't have to make it work. It just fit together. And while you were talking, I'm thinking, music to me and everything in life circles back around, and you see more of the older music style and sound coming back into it. And Carlos, like you said, it's becoming less engineered and produced in a more technological way, and it's letting it to be a little bit more raw, like it should be. And so that's what I see is happening. So again, I think your music is fitting in perfectly with the evolution of the way music is headed.
If I may, I came up at a great time. I got to see Jimi Hendrix live. I saw Zeppelin and Paul in their first tours in the United States. I mean, I've seen all the great guitarists. And, so for me, it's like, how do I take that and blend that into what the Fource is now? Because, that's some very aggressive stuff. And,
yes.
And the Fource, they're so song oriented that it was and is a huge adjustment for me to take what I've been through my whole life and blend it into them. So for me, this is an ongoing evolution to get everything together so that it doesn't sound like any one person is dominating the conversation, the musical conversation. So, it's been a real great experience for me to play with these guys because it's made me rethink my whole vision, my whole philosophy of making music, and I'm grateful for it. Believe me, I think about it every day.
Well, one thing that I would have to say is that the reason I think the band is the way it is because it's multi-generational.
Yes.
I have my influences. Bob has his influences. You guys have your influences. And literally, our influences are from like the 50s all the way to the 90s and early 2000s. And it's a blend of all that.
Yes.
Can you imagine he didn't know who Seals and Croft was when we first met Bob?
Oh, well, come on. So
promotion side that Carlos didn't mention, I thought he would bring up is that one of the ideas that we're toying with is doing a documentary film on us, old guys still playing music. And Carlos is engineering that or trying to pull it together.
Well, now that the secret's frigging out of the bag, yeah.
Jerry, what did you do, Jerry? Did you let something out of the bag?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I could tell you a little bit about it. What happened was one day when they were doing all this stuff, I didn't know how far back the history went. And he mentioned they started that Joe, Larry, and Jerry had started this in 1965. I was like, wait, what? Like, I didn't know that they were a band that far back, right? So he told me, and I think it all happened because I saw a picture in the rehearsal space, and I was asking about that. And then he was like, oh, the next practice I came by, and they had like these cool photos, and they had all this stuff, that showed them when they were kids. And so I was like, you guys need to make a documentary because like, this is a cool story that you guys are actually a band since 1965 and you're still playing. And so I decided to start making this documentary.
It would make a good story.
The great thing about dating a woman my own age, I don't worry about meeting her parents.
Joe, you know what? I got a question to ask you, bud. You were talking about Anne Margaret. I bet you snagged a lot of little girls in that day when you were playing that guitar, didn't you, bud?
No.
Yeah.
No. See, that was the thing. We were up on stage and we were playing. Never danced. I mean, and it was mostly, unpacking and packing up. And it, I wish it had, but never really happened.
We used to have girls come to our practice at Jim's house. Remember, we used to have to set up chairs.
See? I knew it. You guys couldn't have played that long and not have the girls by your side.
Isn't that how you met your wife, Jerry?
Yes. This is the Fource, the Rough Riders from the 60s.
That's pretty cool. Who was the one looking like Buddy Holly in that one?
That was me, yeah.
Yeah, Joe's looking like Buddy Holly over here. That's Joe.
Yeah, I know, Joe, you're lying about the girls, but that's okay. I won't push that anymore. So, I mean, looking like that, I know they were flocking around. So, well, I know they are there, dude. We're gonna have to get into another interview and find out these stories. But in the meantime, I'm gonna spin one more phenomenal track from the Fourth, which is "Somewhere in Time."
Singers in her headphones all day. He brings home new music with nothing to say. She looks at old photos to see something new. He tries taking pictures, something to do. They're both looking back, trying to find the love that is faded somewhere in time. He makes show his own
So give our listeners where they can find your music.
Well, we're on all the streaming sites. We're on Spotify, and again, it's the Fource spelled incorrectly, Fource, because there originally was four of us, and that's how we came up with the name. So we're on Apple. We're on I don't know, whatever other streaming sites there are. We're on. We use SoundDrop to do our distribution. We've been with CD Baby for a long time as well. So, I mean, we have stuff out there. We have a website, thefource.com, where you can see, hear our music. I think we got a lot of our Christmas stuff up there now. So they can find us on our website. They can find us on Spotify. They can find us on Apple, on the main streaming sites, but we're on other streaming sites as well. So
I would definitely say the website's probably the best place to go for like news and updates and all the newest stuff, live shows, anything you guys are doing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about any gig dates and any merch, anything like that. You guys heard where you can find it, and definitely go check these guys out, guys.
There's going to be merch available on the website soon.
There you go. There you go, guys. Go check them out.
We have a page on Facebook too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We have a Facebook page. We have an Instagram too. I think Jim's got it set up on Instagram. I think the only thing we really haven't delved into is TikTok. We never really got involved with TikTok, but we're on Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, we were on MySpace.
And we used to be on MySpace, sir.
Well, thank you guys. You guys know where to find them now. Again, go check them out, man. The doc's giving you 10 stars out of 10, guys. You guys are phenomenal. You go check them out, and you know where to find them. There you go. Doc wants to say thank you, guys.
Thank you.
The Fource.
Thank you
for joining him in the Dawg House tonight, guys. It's been a great time and really educational. And again, I'd like to have you guys back. And you guys have a lot that you can share. And maybe some of the things you talk about, some of the things you share, some of your answers going to help a band that's coming up. Maybe that needs to hear some things, maybe needs to have some ideas put in their head as far as how they should go, so on and so forth. So again, guys, it's been a pleasure and an honor to have you on. So Doc wants to thank you.
Thank you, Doc.
Oh, you're welcome, man. It's my pleasure. The Doc also wants to give a big, big shout out to MD Pod Hub, Magpie Sally, Dogbone Studio, and Matt R. Doc's going to be back next week. So in the meantime, guys, be kind to one another and always keep on rocking. From the Dawg House, Doc and the guys from the Fourth, we're out.
Thank you.
Take care. Boom.
Make it easy.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
That was awesome. Thanks so much.
That was great.
Hey, you're welcome.
Have your dog spayed or neutered.
But anyway, hey, listen, guys, and most of the guys on our streams and feeds, they'll post them, they'll reshare them. So then you get more of a saturation of it out there. If you just want to send like a music, a link to one of your songs, or you want to post like 15, 20 seconds clip of one of your songs with a link below it. Because like, I think Bob was saying that, people listen 15, 20, 30 seconds at the most, and they don't like it, they'll direct to the next thing. So, Doc always just makes us clip short of 15 seconds, 20 seconds, put it on there, put the link underneath, and we'll help you guys. Any way we can. Just let us know.
MD Pod presented Dawg House.